Philadelphia, San Jose, or DC, Los Angeles Galaxy.
Pitch Pass.
Colorado Rapids, Vancouver Whitecaps, Seattle Sounders, Montreal Impact, USA, New York Red Bulls.
Pitch Pass, your all-access credential to the people that matter in MLS. Here's your host, Greg Roach.
Do yourself a favor. Keep an eye on pitchpass.com for the next week. We're putting together something interesting that we will talk about with our second guest. In the meantime, make sure you're following us on Twitter at pitchpass. Oh, hi, by the way. I know, we're just jumping in and we're all business. A lot going on, a lot to talk about. We will go over the U.S. men's national team's fantastic month with Boston Herald's, Goal.com, FoxSports.com, MLSwriter.com, or MLSsoccer.com's Kyle McCarthy, one of the most plugged-in guys, one of the guys that I feel knows the most top to bottom about MLS. He will join us later on in the show, but first, we head out to San Jose. He is a defender for the Earthquakes. His name's Justin Morrow. He joins us right now on Pitch Pass. Justin, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're probably the smartest guy we've ever had on the show, so I've got to really think out the questions, Justin, before I ask you everything.
I think you're overestimating me.
I guess my first question would probably be about the loan process, because you are a big loan process success story, and I've always wondered how it kind of goes down behind the scenes. So take us back a couple of years as you started off your professional career, and then you were loaned out to a couple of teams.
Yeah, my rookie year here in San Jose, I hadn't been playing much, but I think Frank Yellup saw the potential in me that I could be good in the future and just needed a little bit of development, a little bit of games. And so he sent me over to Tampa, who had me for about a month and a half, and I got to play about, I think it was 4 or 5 games in a very short period of time. So it's just about getting those games under your belt, and it's kind of a good sign because it shows that, you know, they think that you have the potential there, but you might need some games. So that's kind of the way I took it, the mentality I took going into it.
Well, you can look back now because of where you are, but at the time there wasn't any. Really, you're getting rid of me? You're shipping me out?
No, I didn't. I never felt like that, especially because it was only a month and a half. But I think it's very important the way players go into it. If they're loaned out, going in with a good mentality, just thinking that it's going to help them, and not having a mentality, like you said, being too worried about it.
Well, how about the other side of the coin? Is it the situation in the league such where you, at the time, a young player could go into your coach and say, hey, I'm not really getting a lot of minutes here. Is there something we can work out where I can be loaned out?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of teams will work with players like that. That wasn't the case with me, but I have heard of that in the past, and I didn't think that would be a problem.
Let's talk about Frank Yellup since you brought him up. And I'm going to ask you just for a yes or no answer for the first question. And the question is, were you shocked when everything went down and Frank Yellup left San Jose?
Yes, I was shocked.
Shocked.
I think we were all very shocked. I don't think anyone saw it coming.
Well, I mean, the reason I guess I asked you the way I asked you is because, you know, we're still on the outside kind of scratching our head at the situation. And so maybe if you had said no, my follow-up might have been a little bit more of a tiptoey, ooh, okay, he wasn't shocked, so something must have been going on. But, you know, based on what we read from a lot of the players in the interviews and even their personal reactions on Twitter, it did seem like it was a really, wow, this is coming out of left field type of situation.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we had been going through a bad stretch, but that doesn't, you know, Frank didn't turn into a bad coach over a stretch of 3 or 4 games, you know, that we lost. So it was pretty shocking. And I mean, as much as you guys know about it, probably as much as we know about it, maybe a little bit more, but it was all pretty crazy.
Well, you know how this goes down when you're in school and they have a teacher who usually it's when they go out on maternity leave. The principal has to come in and say, "Well, she's not going to be here anymore." And this did that happen with you guys, or did Frank actually come in and make a little bit of a speech before he said his goodbyes?
Yeah, he said his goodbyes. He didn't give a reason at all. He just said that he wasn't going to be our coach anymore, and he just said goodbye to each one of us personally, and that was it.
And now, how are things under your interim coach, Mark Watson?
It's been great. I mean, Mark's been with the team since I've been with the team, and he really understands a lot of the players, and he has confidence in us, and I think we have confidence in him.
And you couldn't have asked for a better start. 2-1 on the road against Colorado in his first game in charge.
Yeah, it was a good way to start fresh and get a win, and now we can try and build some momentum going into the next game.
And it's an interesting situation because, again, we don't know what's going on and the circumstances behind Yallop leaving. But if he wanted to, there's a lot of reasons why this year didn't get off to the start that last year got off to. And number one, of course, being all the injuries that you guys have had.
All right. So I think, it's always a weird subject because every team in the MLS has injuries. I think every team could make excuses, and maybe it wasn't what we desired, but it's the situation we're in now, and we're going to work our way out of it.
I wanted to ask you who, if you're rooting for the Heat.
If I'm rooting for the Heat? No, absolutely not.
So you're a Clevelander who has cut all ties with LeBron.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I still like watching LeBron because he's a great basketball player. But with everything that happened in Cleveland, it kind of felt like a brother was leaving me. I had watched him in high school and heard about him in middle school even. So just knowing that he was our hometown guy and then him leaving like that just hurt a little bit.
I didn't even think about that. You guys are not the same age, but you're very close in age, so you probably have had him in your life as at least as kind of an urban legend for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what people don't understand when they don't understand like how it hurts. I think it's exactly that. I mean, I was reading about this guy listening to it on the news, reading about him when he was literally in middle school. So
yeah,
just like you said, he was. I had heard about him for a very long time. So yeah, it hurt.
Yeah, and then because I think a lot of people, I know I do. You look at the situation, you go, okay, he was drafted to play for Cleveland, so that's why they're taking it so hard. But it's not just that; it's like your hometown guy also saying, "No, thank you, I'm going somewhere else."
Yeah, exactly.
So are you not? So you're not rooting for the Heat? We can put that on record.
Yes, I'll put that on record.
I wanted to ask you about your time in the national team camp because basically 18 months ago. You were not a full-time starter for your team, and the next thing you know, you're trotting out representing your country. How big of a whirlwind was that for you, and how awesome was it to line up against Canada and representing the United States?
Yeah, it was pretty incredible, just the way everything happened. But I just kept on trying to take it one step at a time, not get too far in front of myself. And I was happy with the way I handled everything, and I was so proud and honored to be able to be in that camp and do well and get a start, like you said, get a cap.
And in the back of your mind, now that you have had that taste of what it's like in national team camp, do you still feel like, okay, I went out there, I impressed, I feel like I impressed, I did well in front of Jurgen Klinsmann. My door for 2014 is not closed yet as far as representing the United States at the World Cup.
I still feel like that a little bit. I know there's huge competition going on with any of the defenders in the national team camp right now, and there's a bunch of left backs who are doing well. So I just go out and try and compete every day, and I know that if I'm doing that and I'm giving it my all, I can't regret anything.
How much of your success do you attribute to the cutting of the dreads?
A lot of success, actually. I think that was the number one success.
It's weird. I am a former long-haired myself, and
okay.
I probably maybe 2 or 3 months before I cut my hair was over the hair, and I was like, I definitely want to cut it. But then when you get those scissors up there, it's like, no. Actually, I'm going to wait. Was it like that for you?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, like you said, I was over it a little bit. I think I had extended the period for it a little bit too long, but it's always tough when you have
yeah
that going out for years or whatever. You don't want to get rid of it. drastic change.
But then I imagine playing, say, in Houston in August, you think to yourself, thank God that hair is gone.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even think about it now.
So there's no plans to even grow it out a little bit now. You're close cropped for good.
Yeah, I wouldn't say for good. I mean, when I'm a soccer player, I'll always change it up at some point. But for right now, I'm good with the short hair.
Well, Justin, thank you very much for checking in. You guys have DC United this weekend. So, I mean, I guess this is a good time maybe to start getting the ball rolling and start picking up some of those points that you dropped earlier in the season.
Yeah, I mean, it was our first road win this past weekend, and so we're not getting ahead of this next game. You know, DC's a tough opponent. They're going to come in scrapping and clawing for everything. So we have to understand that we've only had one win on the road, and go and try and get some momentum and do it again.
Appreciate you taking the time, Justin. Thank you very much.
Thank you.